When you order Popeyes at 5 a.m. and they don't throw any f***ing hot sauce in the bag, it's f***ing rage.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network, Tuesday, February 25th. I'm Jay Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Tassie, we got the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-yo. The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily. And last but not least, making the magic happen is JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are, guys. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at No Dunks Inc. You know we're on Facebook at facebook.com/NoDunksInc.
Well, I guess it's official. We're now on Facebook.
And email us your NBA questions and your comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. We'll be stepping on the beach on Wednesday, so you got good 24 hours or so to get those cues in right now. And before we start here, I guess we learned that you cannot wear a dangling earring while you're doing a podcast. Trey rocking the D-Wade dangler, but you had to take it off.
Yeah, you know, in a limited choice scenario, I had to go with this most dangling one. It looks... Tass, you said it's a leaf. I think this is a leaf. I thought it was a feather at first, but apparently, Skeets, your wife Nora made these.
Oh, interesting.
And they're in our house. Laura wears them. And I thought this was the coolest one that blended the dangle with the daintiness and the toughness I was looking for. But since it's on a long, hard, like a straight thing, that's the part that really hurts when it gets smashed by the headphones. But, you know, we got a whole week to experiment here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be trying different ones?
Absolutely, yeah. Laura was very upset when I told her I was going to wear a dangly earring. She's like, where are you going to wear them? In public? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wear them to work. And then back home, she's like, well, I won't be with you, so that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no problems with it going back in the hole there?
Yeah.
A little bit. I had to shove it through the back for sure, but no blood came out, so I was happy about that.
Interesting.
Just skin.
Okay.
Fascinating.
How about you? Try and shove any through?
No, I didn't try.
Any sleepers or studs in those bad boys?
No, I might have to go and have a look at rummage around my wife's earring area, I suppose.
Well, I'm only using half of every pair, so maybe we could have matchers every day. Yeah.
Sure.
The earring area. Jewelry box.
Yeah, I mean, it's scattered around. She's got more than one.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. All right, let's get into it with a little What You Got here.
What you got?
What you got there?
What you got?
Yeah, a little What You Got based off of some of last night's games and storylines. First one, I think it's a good one, guys. Tough one. Better performance. Joel Embiid going for a career-high 49 points versus the Hawks. Or Bradley Beal dropping 55 one night after scoring 53 points. Unfortunately in a loss, but better performance. Embiid, Beal, what you got?
Come on, it's Bradley Beal, isn't it? He's doing it against a good defensive team in the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's coming on a back-to-back, and he had to bring his team back from a huge deficit, and man, that must be so deflating for him. I don't expect anyone's ever gone 50 in back-to-back games and lost both games in NBA history. Maybe it's happened.
I think
before.
Kobe, they said it.
Oh, did it? Kobe. Okay, right. But you know, Beal, it's been a rough season for him, and going up against the Bucks, full squad Bucks, you think they're going to get pounded.
Yeah.
And they were. And then Beal dragged that team back in a real all-star type way, you know, hitting those threes, going inside, getting the layups, getting mid-range shots. He looked awesome out there, and it just sort of felt maybe if they got to overtime, because Giannis fouled out, he had by his standards, a bad game. So there was a chance there for the Washington Wizards, but unfortunately Beal wasn't able to just drag his team over the line. Chris Middleton was awesome again. He went for 40, but I'm a little biased because I'm a big Bradley Beal fan. But it was great to see him back up Sunday night's 53 with an even better 55.
Even if they both came in losses.
Yeah. I mean, they're obviously not going to make the playoffs anyway, Washington. I think we've established that, haven't we?
Well, yeah. This was the week here to help their chances of maybe getting in there, but yeah, probably not now with these L's.
No. I mean, the Bucks have got the best defense in the league, so you know that's why I lean towards my bias in Bradley Beal.
What do you guys think?
Of course, it's Bradley Beal. He's at the peak of his powers. This is the best Bradley Beal we've seen, and it's just time to appreciate what he's doing out there. Back-to-back career highs like that, 53 and 55. On the day of Kobe's memorial, he goes for the first time that somebody's had back-to-back 50-point nights and back-to-back nights since Kobe in 2007. It just hasn't been done very often in NBA history where guys had 50 on back-to-back nights. Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Bernard King are the oldies, and then a little bit more current, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and now Bradley Beal. That's it. That's the whole list. That's impressive stuff. And it was fun the fourth quarter. The final 22 points of 24 in regulation. And he said, "This is probably the most fun game I've ever played in.
Yeah.
This is what we're about here. It's about fun." And it was enjoyable to watch him. It was just so much more impressive than Joel Embiid, who Trey predicted it going into last night against an Atlanta Hawks front line that gives up points after points after points after points after points. And sometimes it's fun for us, I think, right now to be mad at Joel Embiid because he's doing it one night and not doing it the other night. So he doesn't get the credit. Like Bradley Beal should right now, who's doing it night in and night out. And it's okay that it came in a loss. Who cares? I think the Wizards are 1-8 when he scores 40 points this season. Is that his fault? I don't think so. I think it's the Washington Wizards. But, hey, it was cool to see Shabazz Napier being the number 2 guy for the Washington Wizards
So
for
cool.
a night. It's cool to see that name. That used to be that was LeBron's man, right?
Yeah.
Best point guard in the draft.
And he joined them, but it didn't help.
It did not help. I'm with you guys, though. It was Beal. It was against the best defense in the league. Well done, but also well done to Embiid, who actually went out and dominated like he should have. Hit 49, a career high. There's nobody inside for the Hawks that can honestly guard him, and he drew 3 fouls against Dwayne Dedmon and John Collins in the first quarter. He drew 8 fouls in total against the big men, 12 against the Hawks. But it would have been easy also for Embiid to just hang out in on the perimeter, shoot threes. He's going to be the main offensive guy with Ben Simmons out, so he could have done whatever he wanted. But what he wanted to do was be inside, which I think is major for the 76ers. Didn't like at the end, though, the finger. I like that he apologized
He
for
did
it.
apologize pretty quick for it, didn't he?
Because, honestly, he should have. The guy shot a step-back 3 when he was going for a career high with 30 seconds left in a 20-point game.
Right.
That's just as bad as Kevin Huerter stealing the ball from behind you. So, at least he backtracked on that one because, I don't know, that would have been super whack to me.
Yeah?
It just would have been whack to me. But
Hold on. He gave the finger to...
he gave the finger to Kevin Huerter on the court and then apologized in his
I
postgame.
didn't see that.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
Yeah, straight finger.
Straight finger.
Yeah.
But you do see that at the end of games for Joel Embiid when he's having a good night. He pulls out the Jimmy Butler sidestep, the exact move that Jimmy Butler used to do to get his shot off, and still does with the Miami Heat, but he did it with the Sixers. He pulls that out when he's having a great night.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid feeling it from the perimeter. That's what he always does, and it goes in. But yeah, no fingers, no fingers
I wonder if
allowed.
he'll get fined for that. It's possible because we've seen guys get fined for giving the finger to the crowd. I mean,
Sure.
Anthony Davis not that long ago got the $15,000 fine. It is different with the player, but he might. I mean, it's not a good look. They don't want the star players flipping the bird at people.
Surprised he
on the
didn't go with the Lee Ellis double down. I think that one's allowed on the court for sure.
The thing about Embiid last night, you mentioned there, John Collins is 6'9", but he's a small 6'9" against Embiid. And Dwayne Dedmon is not that big. It looked like Baby Shaq out there a couple of times, Embiid. Really just saying, again, we talked about it last week in Net, saying, I'm so much bigger than you guys. I can just back you down and score anytime I want. And when he's feeling good, you see all the little tricks and things he does where he's celebrating the little steps, he's pushing there with Dwayne Dedmon. He's doing all that stuff that when he's in that mood and he's playing that way, he is truly a dominant player.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating part.
Yeah.
Night in and night out. How many shows in a row have we talked about Joel Embiid being this way? And then he goes post-game and he gets on Instagram and says, that was fun. And you're allowed after your career high to have quote-unquote fun. But he goes from, hey, I'm having fun, I'm not having fun. Hey, I'm having fun. It just fluctuates. And
They did get booed again last night.
Yeah.
they're unbeaten when they get booed.
That's
I
right.
think.
Well, that's right. I mean, they were up huge in this game, and then the Hawks went on that third quarter run. They started it off 23-9. You had Trae Young hitting the deep bomb at the end of that quarter, and suddenly they were up. And it's like we talked about it. You're right. It's this Jekyll and Hyde Sixers team from one game to the next, but even one half to the next, or one quarter to the next. And a big part of it is Embiid, but they got the win in the end, and a dominant win too. And Tobias Harris stepping up. And the news with them, of course, related news: Ben Simmons is expected to be sidelined for an undetermined period of time due to this back injury. And so, there's been a lot of talk about the idea of trying to figure out whose team is this, or who is more important to this team. Is it Ben Simmons, or is it Joel Embiid, or is that even a silly question and they both could dominate together with the right pieces around them, maybe even the right coach, who knows. But we're going to see here over the next little bit. They got this road trip coming up. There's going to be no Ben Simmons. We don't even know. Hopefully this is not drastic news here, and it's we're shutting them down for the rest of the season. It's in play. I
It's
mean, with a back injury and a young
definitely
guy.
in play, and with the reporting around it being that we've done the test, we don't know what it is, but it's not a day-to-day thing.
Yeah.
And he was super upset when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
I don't know.
multiple tests on multiple days. It wasn't just one test. Oh, we'll figure this out. They had to go get a second opinion. So yeah, the scary stuff for a big man as well. And he's not little. That's a big back.
Yeah, no,
He's a
right.
very big man.
And Simmons has
Huge
been playing really, really well in the last 20 games or so. Scoring over 20 points per game, shooting the ball incredible, and then gives you all NBA sort of defense caliber. On that end of the floor and the defensive end of the floor. So this is a big loss. Coach Brown said the Sixers are not going to try and replace Simmons with one guy here, and then he's going to opt for this point guard by committee thing. Shake Milton got the start. Sort of in that point guard role. He did all right, 7, 5, and 6 as your playmaker, but Josh Richardson playing some point too. It's going to have to be this thing. Tobias Harris going to get more shots, going to have to step up, and he chipped in 25 versus the Hawks. So, a decent start here, but it's going to get a lot interesting when they go on this road trip. And there are some bad teams they're playing maybe in California, but then you do have the Lakers and Clippers, and I would say even those bad teams out there are not easy wins on a long road trip out to Cali. So we'll see.
Especially with them being a very bad road team.
Yes.
They're 9-20 on the
top of
road. Yeah, so the Sacramento Kings aren't an easy win. Nobody's an easy win at all for the Philadelphia 76ers, but teams like the Kings are playing better and fighting for their lives. But maybe it's good for Joel Embiid to be in the number one role with the bullet without Ben Simmons being there for a while. Just to have a little bit more pressure on him because he fluctuates from being awesome to being sort of blending in with the rest of those guys. So I guess it's not a bad thing going into the playoffs, but they need Ben.
I think it is. I think it's a bad thing. I think that we've had this battle for the entire season. Whose team is it? Simmons or Embiid? Simmons or Embiid? Simmons or Embiid? I think they can play together. I think it's fine, and we were seeing how they were going to work together when Al Horford went to the bench. But pretty much as soon as he went to the bench, Ben Simmons got hurt, and now we're not going to get to see the lineup of Simmons, Embiid, and more shooting around that team without all the power forwards and centers out there. Maybe for the rest of the season, or maybe it's just a couple of weeks, but still, that's about how much time we have left in the season. We're not going to get to see what I would imagine is the Sixers' best lineup out there until the playoffs. So
for sure.
They're in trouble.
I just worry more about Joel Embiid's effort level. That's what I'm more worried about. So maybe if he has got pressure on him, maybe he realizes, hey, I should put a few weeks together, string them together of me being the primary option and just working hard night in and night out. But no, this isn't their best lineup. And they should get more reps with their guys that are going to be surrounding those two big boys in the playoffs. But we've also had a lot of those reps, and it hasn't worked out quite yet.
Just back to that Bucks Wizards, it would have been crazy if Troy Brown Jr. hits that three. We could have been looking at a 60-plus point game from Bradley Beal if we get another overtime period. And Chris Middleton, you said it, the cool 40. I mean, the 45 and 5. To me, I think it's either Chris Middleton or Paul George, or you could tell me if there's somebody else out there. Those two guys, in terms of the championship, are the ultimate just playoff wild cards to me. At the level they're playing, whereas Middleton is this. He has been over the last couple of weeks or months. It feels like now. Then unbelievable Bucks team, of course, to pair with Giannis, and then this Paul George is he healthy? What level is he playing at, and does that help the chances of the Clippers? Those two guys, and maybe I'm missing somebody else that you would throw in there. In terms of the title, the title could swing to one team or the other. Man, if they're balling at the levels they can, their team is just special. Middleton's unbelievable. Right? I can't miss.
And he scored their last 9 points and assisted on the 3 to Bledsoe. So again, in overtime, making all the crucial plays. Giannis out. He's like, okay, it's my team now, and answered the bell. And that just must give Budenholzer and the Bucks coaching staff so much confidence knowing they've basically got a second closer out there in those sort of situations. So, very, very
at least
impressive.
during the regular season.
Yeah,
that's
exactly,
what I mean.
Yeah. Because Bledsoe's...
Let's say Giannis gets into foul trouble in a key game 3 or 4 in a tough series, and okay, it's Middleton time. Can you lead them to a victory?
Yeah, because Bledsoe's the big question mark in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to perform for them, and this is the season now where Bledsoe really has to deliver in the playoffs. So, but again, Middleton, the season he's having is just so incredibly underrated and flying under the radar, really.
I was wishing the Washington Wizards would make that 8th seed and get into the playoffs over a team like the Orlando Magic, because I want to see Bradley Beal in the playoffs. And Chris Middleton definitely agrees with me. He would love to see
the Wizards.
He's had 2 games against them this year. He had his career high. Giannis wasn't in the first game against the Wizards. He had 51. And then he had this 40-point game. Those are two really, really good Chris Middleton. He just lights up seeing this Wizards team, like a lot of teams do. We're talking about a bad Wizards team. But that 7-8 battle last night, I kind of want to retract my, hey, I want the Wizards in the playoffs. Because that Brooklyn Nets Magic game, it was all right.
Yeah, but they won't be playing each other in the first round.
No, but I think they could probably. They both took a game off of the teams they played in the playoffs last year. Brooklyn and Orlando both made the playoffs last year.
They won game one.
Orlando and stole a game from Toronto, the eventual champs. Brooklyn stole one from Philly.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to big up these teams for some reason, just because I want to be excited mid-April to late April for a first round. But It's not that exciting to see two sub-500 teams in there, but it was all right last night.
Well, it was cool because we got a couple sort of game-saving blocks. The Aaron Gordon block on, I guess that was LeVert, cutting back door in that game. That was an incredible block coming over, help defense there. And then in this one, this Wizards-Bucks game, Robin Lopez, maybe saved the game.
Yeah.
He probably did. It was going to be a Rui Hachimura probably layup.
Yep. But
he comes over, and Rui obviously was short on time. This happened with 1 second to go. What a beautiful pass from Beal. Everybody's thinking Beal's shooting that. Why wouldn't you? The guy's on fire and totally got the back in the game. Nice pass inside, but unbelievable recovery there from Robin. Sends it into the overtime. Those are awesome blocks. I love a game-saving block.
And
almost more than a
more
rebound.
that or a rebound.
Yeah, I think I like.
Tell me how you
block
feel
more.
about a screen up top.
Oh, I love it. If it's set
Screen
nice.
assist.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the other way, Pat Connaughton had the opportunity for a game-winning alley-oop. The guy was just in a slam dunk contest and he couldn't catch an alley-oop. I found that really weird. It wasn't the best of passes. It could have been a little loftier, but
Bet if somebody was holding the ball on top of his head, he would have got it.
yeah, you just needed Taco Fall out there or Giannis out there to bang it off the board and put it down.
I think at Christian Ho, No Dunks fan, tweeted in. He may have figured out what the Bucks' real motive is this season. I think he's got a point. He says the Bucks want to win the championship not because of the Larry O'Brien, but because they want the custom WWE championship belt from Triple H. That's why they're doing all this wrestling in the back pregame. They've got it all settled. They got tag team matches going on. It's a winner take all sometimes. Falls count anywhere, pins count anywhere. Yeah, they want the belt. They don't care about the Larry O'Brien. Imagine they give them, they hand them the trophy, and they're like, no, where's the belt?
Yeah, I can see it happening, and it just makes me think that it's too bad the Lopez brothers got so tall, because maybe in another world they would have gone to play in the NFL so they could go to Disneyland after winning.
Oh, yeah, that's
Super
right,
Bowl.
That's right. That's definitely where they're going if they do win. All right, next one here. I'll throw it at you. Bigger upset from last night. The Cavs rallying from a 22-point deficit to beat the Heat in overtime, or the Suns crushing the Jazz by 20 in Utah. What you got?
I'm off the Jazz right now. It's not a shock. They've lost their last two games at home prior to this pretty badly to decent teams, the Spurs and the Rockets. Mm-hmm. So that was a bad loss to Phoenix. But it has to be the Cavs coming back from 22 down. I think in overtime, it was like the Cavs were winning the championship. Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson were jumping into each other's arms at the end when Love had that layup. And this was a game where there was no Jimmy Butler for the Heat. Eric Spoelstra made no excuses about that after the game. But up 22, it's been a disastrous season there in Cleveland. You thought, the Heat, they're going to close this one out. Sure, Bam was on fire. He had flirted with the 5x5.
He had an incredible game.
Oh my God, he is incredible. But for the Cavs to come back and show fight and heart and hustle and enjoy the victory, the crowd looked like they've never seen such a side out there.
Well, they haven't in a while.
Kevin Love was playing the three during the comeback. That's why it was super weird. Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, and Larry Nance were the reason that the Cavs came back last night. I don't know what happened with the Heat. They just stopped scoring. They had 102 points with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they ended up with 119. Where's that Sixers energy for the Heat? They've lost 6 of their last 8. They're 13-18 on the road. They just blew a huge lead to a terrible team.
Yeah.
Iggy's the cooler.
You might be right.
This was, I got to go with the bigger upset being the Cavs, mainly because this was the Heat's first loss in overtime this season, too. That was the other thing. They were 8-0.
Yeah.
They never lost in overtime this year, and they finally dropped one here. But you said the bigs for the Cavs. How about Kevin Porter Jr.'s game of his career, early career, going for the 30 points and contributing in the fourth, and pairing him with Garland there. Unconventional lineup. The Bickerstaff bump is real.
The JB Bicker bump.
What a win. I thought, you're right, because the Heat had just played them and demolished them, too.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, here we go again. Okay, no shocker. And then they come back from 19 down to start of the fourth.
This is how JB gets a full-time contract too.
It might.
Yeah.
But them playing hard, you don't see it often.
They look like they were having fun.
Yeah.
And that's not something you could say about the Cavs this season. But yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. and Michael Porter Jr. having good seasons this year. It's confusing. It's confusing at times. Like, what? Porter Jr.? Hang on. This one. Okay, different guy.
One? Yeah. No, but he lit it up last night.
Yep.
Well, Michael Porter Jr. definitely the Nuggets' best prospect, and I think Kevin Porter Jr. is the Cavs' best prospect, despite having Colin Sexton and Darius Garland in their backcourt. Kevin Porter Jr. is smooth. He's got that game. He's doesn't let anyone speed him up. He's a 19-year-old young fella, and I like how he hasn't just been thrown into the starting lineup like Colin Sexton has been for his first 2 years of his career. Kevin Porter has come in off the bench as a rook, and yeah, definitely his best game, but totally in control, and also didn't foul out. He had 5 fouls for basically the entire fourth quarter, and did a lot out there. He was the key to me watching that game.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know. I just keep coming back to the fact that, like, the Sixers lose a game to the Bucks, the best team in the league. They lose by 20. They say they're never going to win the championship. But the Heat can lose a game like this, and nobody cares. Should we split up Butler and Bam Adebayo?
Well, listen.
Do they not have enough shooting?
that's
Honestly, it's the same thing.
No,
it is
it's
the
not.
same. It is.
Bam Adebayo is starting for the first time in his career. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons have been playing together for 3 years.
Winning 50 games a season.
Yeah, and so you'd expect them to get better when they just signed a max player in Al Horford, a max player. People, why shouldn't expectations be higher for that team than a team that?
That's all expectations. Just look at the teams, though. Look at the way they're playing.
Bam Adebayo this is his coming out party. Ben Simmons has been an all-star. Joel Embiid's been an all-star. We thought he would be MVP. So yeah, we expected them to be a better than a 50-win team. Shouldn't there be expectations on guys like that? Yeah, the Heat lost a game. Sixers lose a game. So if they go into the playoffs and yeah, they're similar teams, isn't it disappointing if the Sixers lose to the Heat? But it's not as disappointing if the Heat lose to the Sixers. There should be expectations. We thought he was going to be MVP. These guys are older and more polished, and yeah, that's all.
Then why are we picking the Cavs upset over the Jazz? Losing again, you said. Third in a row at home.
Man.
What's going on with them? And where's their defense?
Yeah.
They stink.
Where
the Jazz
is-
are terrible right now, and honestly, it's feeling a little bit like Roy Hibbert and Pero Antic, because you look at the second half of this game, the Suns were playing small. Dario Saric was playing the 5. He was a plus 16 in 8 minutes. Rudy Gobert minus 26 in 18 minutes in the second half. They were just getting wide open shots every single time. Javon Carter was just basically standing at the top of the key. They'd run a pick and roll. Suddenly he's wide open. Gobert is getting very upset that he's not getting the ball, because if he's having to run out there and try and guard guys on the perimeter and then try and get back to the rim, and then he never touches the ball inside, that's a problem.
You got to feed the big man.
Yeah.
But they got killed. He's getting stretched. I get all that, because that's what you should do against the Jazz and try and beat that great defense, which has completely fallen off the cliff. But they got outscored.
Roy Hibbert.
They got outscored 66-42 in the paint. The Suns did the work inside. And then Mitchell was the only one that did anything offensively for the Jazz as well last night.
The Jazz's
this is a
defense-
bad loss. I don't think we should overlook this one.
No, but their defense in February is 23rd in the league.
Yeah.
And you saw a couple of times Rubio and other guys would just walk in, see Gobert there and just go, well, I'm just going to float it over you. Like, he doesn't have that intimidation factor anymore. You know, that was their backbone was always, you go inside and you know Gobert's contesting a shot, making it hard for you to put it in. Right now, same thing against the Rockets, same thing against the Spurs with DeJounte Murray and those guys. They were just like, we're not really afraid of this guy anymore. And if he doesn't have that defensive impact, those other guys like Bogdanovic and even Joe Ingles, they do get exposed a lot, because Rudy Gobert covers up for a lot of their defensive errors on the perimeter. So Quinn Snyder has got some serious work to do, because they have fallen badly. These 3 home losses, all winnable games for a contending team if they are. And they get pounded.
Then again, they might just be trying to avoid the Rockets. They might be doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm half kidding. And this was the Rubio revenge game, too.
Yeah.
22 points, 11 assists, 7 steals.
He was only there 2 seasons.
It's all right. He didn't want to leave, he said.
Yeah.
Nice little revenge game there.
I think there's a reason why Richard Rubio had the night of his season.
One of his best games.
Yeah, that was awesome, actually. He was pretty cool to watch. And I don't know, it's a little bit of a coming out of the All-Star break, we're a little bit not ready to work, really, is what I know. They struggled a little bit before in late January too, but the 3 losses have been since the All-Star break, and I know Rudy Gobert's getting exposed, but everybody else isn't playing on a string either. Nobody
That's
really
for sure.
cares.
I feel like Conley is getting blown by all the time.
Yeah.
And we talk about how he has probably lost a step offensively and how they haven't figured out how to integrate him. But defensively, you expect him to show up and be able to shut down Rubio, make it tough on him, make it tough on Devin Booker, and that was not the case.
Yeah.
Same with Royce O'Neal, I thought was getting blown by all the time last night. And then Gobert isn't able to be at the rim when you're playing a bunch of small guys. And that's how you're getting a lot of points at the paint, wide open shots.
Yeah, so they weren't together on defense, and I think that just parlays into offense. They just weren't playing together on the offensive end either, just overlooking open guys. And it's strange. It's strange to see that team that's supposed to be this rugged, hey, we love each other type of squad, and they're going to have to get by more on the sum of their parts than their stars. That's got to happen. It's got to happen at some point if they're going to want to turn it around.
They've only won games over the last couple of years because of their defense. Wasn't because of their offense. They tried to address that in the offseason. They did. They added more offense, and Conley, of course, struggled. But when they don't have any defense, they're not going to outscore teams. That's just the way it is with this squad.
Oh, yeah.
And so, so it's just weird that you said, what are they, 23rd in February?
I mean, February's defense, because
Crazy.
they had that big run of wins. They won 14 out of 15 sort of late December,
And that was
early
the
January.
easy part of their schedule.
Yeah,
Very easy.
I'm looking back at over that schedule now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, they had to win those games. But even in a lot of those games, they were giving up for the Jazz a lot of points.
Right. So
there was perhaps some signs there that their defense wasn't all that good. Their offense was surviving against bad teams. But they're.
So you were talking about on I guess Twitter here this morning. The Jazz are out of the title contention group for you.
Ruled them
They've been
out.
kicked off out of the table.
They're away
Not
from
in
the
the
table.
conversation.
It's time to start passing the list down, and I've removed the Jazz because they just again their staple is defense, and if their defense isn't there, it takes a lot to get that back to the top echelon of the league. And again, I've seen these last 3 games. I've been watching them, and it's like, wow, nobody fears them at all anymore. So and again, home games like this, I mean. This is exactly what you want out of the All-Star break. You've got your 2 All-Stars.
Yeah, it's true.
They should be feeling good about themselves. You think, okay, these other teams are traveling for their first game. This is a chance for us to win. They play the Celtics next as well at home on Wednesday night. That's a huge game before they also get the Wizards at home. Then they go for 4 on the road. So the Jazz could really.
What's your table looking like? How many settings do you have there?
How many contenders?
How many plates
I've
are
got,
there?
5.
All right, so you said you took this list down. I mean, it's like
it starts at.
Well, you had a wedding coming up. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, let's invite everybody. And then you're like, well, hold on, that's going to cost a lot of money. Do we need my second cousin there? Is that what you're saying here? So you parsed it down from like 8 or 9 to 5?
Yep.
That's what we're saying? So go through them. Bucks, obviously. One.
Bucks and Lakers.
Okay.
The Raptors are a contender for mine.
Okay.
The Boston Celtics are a contender.
Okay.
And then I've got the Denver Nuggets.
Over the Clippers.
Wow, Clippers, huh?
I'm not feeling the Clippers right now. I'm not feeling them.
Interesting.
I love it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because, again, the Clippers don't even know themselves right now. And who knows even who's playing with them from night to night. And even though I know they've lost some games...
Well,
that
they've got their full squad here now.
Yeah, and they won last night against
Yeah.
the Grizzlies. But who knows how long this is going to last. And there's a little bit of internal chaos with that team.
Oh, come on. I'm taking the Clippers over the Nuggets any day of the week. With considering all teams, like both teams healthy-ish.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad you are, because
All
I'm
right.
taking the Nuggets.
All right. Fascinating stuff. One more here, guys. This one's looking ahead a little bit because it's a nice little schedule here on a Tuesday night. I want you to tell me tonight's must-watch TNT game. You can only pick one, in theory. Bucks Raptors or Pelicans Lakers. Ooh. What you got? More enticing TNT game tonight. That's tough.
Bucks Raptors is more enticing for me, but I'm more likely to watch Pelicans Lakers because I'm going to be flipping pizzas when it's Bucks versus
There
Raptors
you
time.
go.
That's right, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to a pizza making class tonight.
You're actually
Yeah.
flipping pizzas.
Yeah, I'll be flipping
Oh,
pizzas.
I didn't know if that
That's
was slang
enticing
for
to me.
jerking off or something.
I mean, maybe later. Maybe during Pelicans Lakers, I'll toss some more pizzas. We're talking about 2 of the top teams in the league here, though. The Bucks and the Raptors?
Yeah.
And this is a possible Bucks loss if you're looking on the schedule, right? They played last night. Now they got to go play against a good team in the Raptors.
Yep.
In Toronto. This could be one of those few losses we're seeing during the rest of the regular season for the Bucks.
It's weird that these two
Possible.
teams play tonight and then twice more the Bucks and the Raptors do 3 games, within the last 6 weeks
Only
of the
played once
season.
this season, right? Yeah.
That's a lot of Bucks Raptors. So we've got a couple of those to look forward to. So I want to watch Zion versus LeBron. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
this is the first time because these two teams have played, Pelicans, Lakers, but missing Zion in the first 2. So what are you going with, Lee?
I think I'm going with Zion because he continues to perform. He had 28 against the Warriors, sure, but they needed that win, and they need these wins badly right now because they're a game and a half behind the Blazers, who are also playing tonight against the Celtics.
Half game.
Oh, half game, is it? Excuse me. But yeah, if the Pelicans make the playoffs this season, that'll be an incredible story. They were awful early on, obviously when Zion wasn't there, and now he is largely responsible for them being now on the cusp of getting into the playoffs.
Could he still win Rookie of the Year?
You know what? I think we said no before he came back. I'm actually saying I think he can still. I think he can.
He's the best rookie. He's better than John Morant.
He is. Does he have enough games? Yes, he does. And right now, I mean, he's performing every single night. So,
yeah, I mean, since he's come back, sort of latest January, they're 8-5. They've won 5 of their last 6. He has been incredible. He's had a lot of really, really just solid games. And, I mean, this will be all eyes. I don't know how many people are tuning in to watch Zion and the Pelicans on League Pass, but you got a TNT marquee game here. It's the Lakers. I mean, this would help. Let's just say, I don't think it's going to happen ultimately, but this would sure help his Rookie of the Year chances if he had a monster game versus LeBron, maybe in a win again on TNT. That would, that would be fresh in the minds of a lot of voters. I would think maybe come voting time if you continue to keep this up. So
Interesting to see what happens too, because kind of his one worst game so far this year was against the Bucks. He shot 5 of 19 because they've got a lot of good defenders with a lot of length at the rim. That's something that Zion's going to see against the Lakers tonight. But also, we got to give a major shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies, losing 3 straight in California, holding up their end of the deal to make this a race for the 8th seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't help that they lost Jaren Jackson Jr. To injury, or it did help, I guess, if you want
if you want a race.
If you want more of an exciting 8-seeded race here, yeah. Potential first-round matchup, though, this Pelicans-Lakers, if they could get in there.
Yeah.
That's what we would see.
Trey sort of mentioned it there. I really want to see, guys like Zion go up against Dwight and Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee, because they're big, long, stronger guys. And we've seen already a couple of highlights from Zion where he can just out-muscle guys. Now he's going up against, old man sort of muscle. It's completely different. Right. But he threw Steven Adams out the way. Yeah. I mean, you don't get much tougher than him. So, but this is now a real sort of barometer for Zion and the Pelicans, because they've won some games that they should win. And now it's against a Lakers team that are, they're going for the win as well. Of course, they're not going to be mailing this one in. So, great challenge for Zion, and if he can make some noise against LeBron and the Lakers, that's going to help his case. But I think the Rookie of the Year, if the Pelicans make it into the playoffs, regardless of what happens with Morant, they probably won't both make the playoffs.
No.
But I think that does certainly tilt it in Zion's favor.
Wow.
I think it does. I really do.
So there's more at stake.
Well, and
the
remember,
race for 8. The Rookie of the Year is on line. What if they both don't make it?
Well,
the Blazers take it.
Interesting.
The Spurs.
Haven't thought
they got
about
any
that.
rookies?
Yeah.
But we talk a lot about timing for awards, and Morant had a fantastic start. He hasn't been as notable lately. But if Zion finishes, in a flurry, and again the Pelicans make it, I think that puts him in the box seat there.
I know. I look. I want to lean into that take. I want to hope it's true, just because it obviously gives us the debate and all that. But John Morant has had an incredible season.
No question.
Season is the key word here.
Yeah. But has he hit the wall?
But Trey's fair. I mean, I don't know. That gets into the whole thing. Are you giving it just to who was the best rookie? Or is it the actual work of the entire breadth of the season?
It'll probably be the work of the season.
Probably, and I think that's totally fair.
Yeah, so far, Ja has played 1,500 minutes and Zion has played 300 minutes.
Wow, oh my goodness.
That's a bit of a difference.
And his team is good, surprisingly good on top of that, talking about expectations. And he's a point guard, probably maybe the most difficult position for a young guy to pick up and lead a team right away. Yeah, he's got the highlights to match like Zion. It's cool that it'll be closer. I mean, at the very least.
This is not a Joel Embiid, Malcolm Brogdon scenario.
No. Right.
Where he was he was 13 points a game that season, but every other rookie was very bad. John Morant would be Rookie of the Year. He'll probably still be Rookie of the Year this year, but he would be Rookie of the Year a lot of seasons, I would think.
That's who we have for What You Got. Let us know if you agree or disagree on Twitter. #NoDunks @NoDunksInc. Well, yesterday, a memorial service inside Staples Center celebrated the lives of Lakers legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi. More than 20,000 people, yet friends, family, those who acquired tickets through a lottery crowded into the arena with ticket proceeds benefiting the Mamba and Mambasita Sports Foundation. Pretty powerful stuff. Vanessa Bryant, Jordan, Shaq, Diana Taurasi, were among those who spoke during the memorial. Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Christina Aguilera, they all performed. I'm sure you guys watched this or caught this later in the day. Was there a particular speech or moment that was, I don't know, most moving to you or poignant? Or what was your just really biggest takeaway? I thought it was incredibly done. And Vanessa speaking was, I don't know how. I don't know how she, find the strength and courage to do that, but spoke eloquently about her daughter and Kobe. What was your favorite moment, I guess, if that, I know it's a sort of a weird question to ask, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, those sorts of memorials are obviously sad and somber, but there were some funny moments.
Yeah. I mean, it was a celebration
Yes.
of their lives,
Yeah.
is the important part.
And I thought, outside of Vanessa, who was brilliant, just incredibly courageous and spoke so eloquently about her husband and her daughter and her other daughters as well and their life. But Shaq's couple of little comments there about Kobe.
Shaq was short and sweet, wasn't he? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How he's saying he was going to help Kobe's daughters, but not teach them how to shoot free throws.
Yeah, that's funny.
That was great. And then also talking about the how he and Kobe, when they were talking, there was no I in team, and Kobe retorted with, "There's an ME in that mother." I mean, it was
Shaq couldn't even help himself. I'm gonna drop it.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Like so when when you're feeling sad and there's tears coming down, and then someone throws in a couple of gags like that, it's really well done. So I thought Shaq.
Okay.
I thought it was Michael Jordan, for sure. I thought that was the most human Michael Jordan that you've probably ever seen, since he has been affiliated with the NBA since 1984. He was getting jokes off about the crying Jordan meme, which was hilarious. And also just to hear about the relationship between MJ and Kobe, because he started by saying, you probably would be surprised to find out that we were very close. And I think that's true, because it just didn't seem like MJ was close to anybody, except for like the guys he went to college with. And then he was just kind of closed off from the world because he was too famous. But apparently him and Kobe had that in common, also had the desire to be the greatest. And Jordan, it sounded like, was pretty bugged about that at the beginning, but he's like, he wore me down, and then I kind of just realized this guy is driven the same way I am, so I'm going to help him out to the greatest of my abilities. And I don't know, that was just very, very cool to see from Michael Jordan, a guy that you don't hear giving speeches a lot anyway. We just had the All-Star game in Chicago, and everyone's like, oh man, no Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
It was better that he was at the Kobe Memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tears were absolutely streaming down his face, and in a way they weren't streaming down his face when he had his Hall of Fame speech. I mean, those were waterworks for Michael Jordan. Even though he wasn't the most eloquent speaker out there, he was extremely, extremely moved by what was going on through his body and what's happened over the last month to him and how he feels about his little brother, as he calls him. The moment really was Vanessa Bryant and her being the leader of that household, the matriarch of that family, and trying to hold things together in that household with her three daughters, and being able to get up there and like many, many, many mothers in the world, being able to be strong and being able to be resilient and keeping that household together. Undoubtedly, that was the moment for me. That being said, let's keep with the female side of things. And there was the Oregon Ducks player, Sabrina Ionescu, who has been sort of tutored by Kobe Bryant throughout her college career and probably before that, and has been sort of a tutor to Gigi Bryant as well, or was a tutor to Gigi Bryant, unfortunately. And now she's a player who went out yesterday, was in the memorial, and then went out and balled yesterday for the Oregon Ducks and became the first player in NCAA history, in D1 history, male or female, to record 2,000 career points, 1,000 career assists, and 1,000 career rebounds on that day. She spoke at the memorial for Kobe Bryant. So that was something. Those are just dumb numbers, but she spoke eloquently and was a factor in Gigi's life, and so it was good to see somebody who isn't a huge name, a huge just a name in the NBA, but somebody who will be a big name in the WNBA as well. So that was a testament, I think, to Gigi and the whole day. It was a very moving a few hours.
A lot of these athletes in attendance at the memorial in the morning, West Coast time, and then going and playing games around the rest of the North America. Harden, Booker. I mean, just off the top of my head, there's a couple more as well. Pretty crazy. In other news, flipping it over here, Pacers guard Jeremy Lamb. He's going to miss the rest of the season with a left knee injury. Lamb was injured in the second quarter of the Pacers' 46-point loss on Sunday in Toronto. He was going up for the breakaway dunk, sort of in transition. Terrence Davis II challenged. I think totally clean. He even got a piece of the ball, nothing malicious, no pushing or anything like that. But landed awkwardly, and he immediately grabbed the area behind his knee there, just below his hamstring. Team officials announced that he had a torn ACL, a torn lateral meniscus, and a lateral fracture in the bone. All of that happened just from sort of landing again awkwardly after the dunk attempt and the foul on that. So this is, obviously unfortunate news for the Pacers and their season. They miss Oladipo the whole year. Lamb plays well in a starting role. Okay, Oladipo comes back. They had some hiccups. Lamb's trying to find his role again as a guy coming off the bench and a scorer off the bench, and now he goes down for the rest of this season. Maybe even majority of next season with how much damage is done to that left knee. So bummer news for the Pacers here.
Yeah, I mean, you said it though there. Like, usually you hear about one of those sort of injuries, but for all three of them to happen at the same time.
And the guy gets up and goes and shoots the free throws with that going on in his leg.
Yeah, so he's only 27, so, there is plenty of time still for him to rehabilitate and get back. But, yeah, he's bounced around a couple of teams. He's shown he can be a valuable sort of role player. And, yeah, I think the Pacers are certainly going to miss him, what he's provided to them this season. So tough break for him and Indiana.
Luckily, he's guaranteed money over here over the next couple of years. Like, I'm always happy, I throw that in air quotes, when someone goes down with like a season-ending injury that could lead into next year, and you're like the Cousins thing or something like that. You're like, oh man, that's like a double whammy. Not only is the guy who wants to play ball and he's out, but now money is off the table because of the timing at all. He's guaranteed, Lamb is, another $10.5 million over the next 2 years. So can use that obviously to rehabilitate it, and hopefully can still contribute in the league.
Yeah, and the Pacers just have to hope that Victor Oladipo can be better, because he hasn't been good so far since he came back. 8 games, 10 points a game. He's shooting 33% from the field and 25% from the three-point line. Lamb has been able to give them a little bit of an outside threat and has definitely just taken the role of being a starter. So, Oladipo, hopefully that he can get in a little bit of a rhythm. Hopefully he can develop chemistry with the playmakers that they got going there, because otherwise you're getting a lot of Justin Holiday, and I don't think that's bodes well for the Pacers' upset chances in a playoff series.
No, probably not. Though I will say the Pacers have had this year like a pretty good second unit when it's the Holiday Bros, and then it's like T.J. McConnell and Doug McDermott and Sabonis. It's this really weird, like, sort of small line. It's had success when it's played this year. I don't know if we'll see more of it or less of it because of Holiday sliding up into a starting position if that happens, but decisions to be made here for Coach McMillan. And they're struggling right now, too, on top of it, with the timing of the injury. Bummer news there for Jeremy Lamb. All right, let's get to Tweet of the Night.
Tweet of the Night. Wow.
Twitter.
Tweet of the Night comes from our friends at Mashable. Yes, that website. Mashable, still website, still kicking, still giving you all the info you need, including Jif Peanut Butter, spelled J-I-F, Jif, has released a product which aims to end the debate, that classic debate on how you pronounce the word GIF. Those fun things we see on the internet. They have a peanut butter jar out with 2 labels on it. One side has the letters GIF with the subheading animated looping images and hard G pronunciation. It's like those little labels you'll see on a label, the little circle information that'll say new and better improved product. It says hard G pronunciation, and the other side is their standard JIF subheading creamy peanut butter soft G pronunciation. This product produced in conjunction with Giphy. Just a little promotion for the website Giphy and for GIFs overall. just for GIFs.
How did this take this long to get this product? That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
That should have been popping like 3 or 4 years ago.
Sure.
Maybe even longer.
But I don't know. I guess people will buy it.
So,
it's $10. That's a lot of money. On Amazon, it's $10 to buy a jar of peanut butter.
Wow.
Isn't that a lot for peanut butter?
How much
Yeah.
is the non-internet branded one? I mean, I guess that's the comparison.
Yeah, that's why I would assume that's a lot of money. I didn't
$6
Google.
probably?
I'm a sixer. I would guess about a
Yeah.
sixer for a
was gonna
nice
go-
jar.
Yeah.
Nice jar of
They
Jif.
sometimes do those twofers in the pack. You
Oh
know?
yes.
Yeah.
So are you a GIF? Or
I've
a
always
GIF
been a
man?
GIF. I've always been a GIF.
You're
man.
a GIF man.
I'm both at times.
You
It just depends.
Yeah, like sleepers and
Studs.
studs.
No, they're clearly different.
Yeah, but you wear both.
Yeah, well, I did, yeah.
So you say GIF and GIF.
I just don't know because it depends on the audience you're with too. Because some people are adamant, like, no, it's GIF. Oh, is it? I thought it was GIF. No.
Well, the Oxford Dictionary definitely pronounces it as GIF, but
Yeah.
the common speak out here in the internet land where we read it and we don't say it is it just looks like GIF. Especially because I don't go to Giphy Lube, I go to Jiffy Lube.
You get someone a gift or a gift.
You see a giraffe or a giraffe?
What do you go?
That's a good point.
It's Jif. I mean, it's definitely Jif. That's what the creator says.
Yeah.
But I say both.
Yeah.
It's just whatever comes out.
Yeah.
Language is fluid.
So you will say both.
Yeah, of course.
And you don't care.
Because Giphy, it looks like Giphy for sure. Giphy.
Yeah.
Looks like Giphy. Saying
Yeah.
Jiffy there would feel weird to me.
Yeah.
But if I just see GIF, I want to say Jif.
I want to say GIF still, but maybe that's just because that's what I decided early on.
That's
and
right.
I've stuck with it. JD, you got a take on this?
It's definitely GIF
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Hard G.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hear from you guys. I mean, look, this is nothing new. This debate's been going on for a good decade plus.
How did they just do this?
Yeah, right? That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
The creator made the declaration in 2013.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think we addressed it on the podcast.
Yeah, we did.
On maybe a Twitter
But
show.
it's still happening. It literally is still happening out there. Maybe not.
I believe you. I mean, this does look like a nice peanut butter.
It does.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's smooth, right? This is smooth.
smooth.
Because you know my
100%.
feelings on crunchy peanut butter.
What?
Just have peanuts.
Oh, man.
No,
You can't
no.
have smooth.
No,
You got to
no.
have crunchy.
No, but no, extra crunchy. They've gone overboard with how much crunch they've put into it. I've talked about
But
this.
there's no standard crunch. It's extra crunchy or smooth.
You don't need extra crunchy. Is just basically peanuts.
Yeah. So why don't they have the middle of the road then? Just have
I
crunchy.
think they do.
Because
of the road.
we never had extra crunchy in Australia as kids. It was just crunchy or smooth.
Right. That's fine.
So I've been looking in the supermarket for crunchy.
It's because we have to have every single thing now. Yeah, has to be an
So
extra,
take the extra
or
off
a
then.
mild,
Take
or
the extra
a,
off. Just make it crunchy. It's
or
not
smoothie
extra.
smooth, or super smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just,
You can't have extra
we can
if
only
there's
have
not a
two.
standard then. So get rid of the extra and just make it crunchy and
We are
smooth.
buying two anyways, so just buy one smooth, one creamy,
No, because
one smooth and
they,
one crunchy.
They come together. They come two
so
two
you got
packets
four.
of them.
That doesn't go bad.
No, I
Buy a pack of peanuts, chop them up, and throw them in.
Yeah.
Custom crunch.
I'm passing on the crunchy peanut butter to my sons because we were never a smooth household. We were
Really?
a crunchy, yeah. And I just won't buy the smooth. Because sometimes if you're at a hotel or whatever, in there like cafeteria or the restaurant there, it's always just the creamy.
Yeah.
It's smooth. There's never the crunchy. So at home, I'm adamant. No, we must have crunchy.
So you're
You'll see
raising
the smooth in
you're
the world.
raising your children in a crunchy household.
Yes, just as I was raised in a crunchy household.
Good for you, Lee. Good for you.
There's got to be a 2-pack that they sell with
Yeah.
smooth and crunchy,
Yeah.
right?
Big
And
No,
one
well-
one should be called GIF, the crunchy one, and Jif,
Sure.
the smooth one, because Jif
Yeah.
just sounds so much smoother without that hard G, hard crunch G for sure. Why not?
I've never seen it like the one-on-one because I guess you're
one-in-one.
I guess you're just on one side or the other. You're not on like it doesn't matter. We'll just go through.
Well, why
one
do
and
we
then
even need two plastic containers? One plastic container right down the middle, crunch on one side. Well, then you can. Oh, am I feeling extra smooth today? Okay, I'll just stick over on the right side. Oh, maybe I want a little crunch. I'll put that in.
No, that'd be
Let me
like-
decide. Let me make it.
It'd be like the ice cream, the chocolate raspberry or chocolate strawberry and vanilla ice cream, where the vanilla is always
Neapolitan.
the Neapolitan. That's always everyone just eats the chocolate first, and then the strawberry, and then the vanilla is just left.
Oh,
so-
I disagree. Strong disagree. I'm leaving that strawberry to the very end.
Yeah,
I'm leaving it
I'm
for
a
somebody
huge
else.
vanilla guy.
Oh, yep, over the chocolate?
Hell yeah.
But it's not
especially
good
over
vanilla.
that chocolate. Oh, you think that's good chocolate?
You think that's good vanilla?
Well, vanilla.
I think that's good strawberry.
If it's not French vanilla, then don't eat it.
Oh my god. You hoity-toity. I forgot you had your little espresso with it.
Yeah.
Vanilla bean is the good vanilla, not French vanilla.
Do you like a vanilla bean donut? I don't think it goes all that well on a donut, vanilla bean.
Yeah, you got a lot of vanilla bean in a glaze for sure. That's where the flavor's coming
but
from.
I mean,
man.
like, I'm talking like a standard vanilla bean donut. I'm like, I don't think it really works all that well in that environment.
Let's get to pick'em results from last night. We had the Suns and the Jazz game. A lot of us were feeling confident about Utah picking up a big win at home, getting off the schneid there. But no. Suns just blew it open in the second half there. Beat down, 1 by 20, as I said earlier. Tass, the only one to get it right, had the Suns to cover, and they obviously hit the money line. Everybody else had the Jazz. That's an L. Am I technically still in it? I think I have a chance.
You got a chance.
I think I still have a chance. We got Tass and Lee at 7-5. Trey's 500. He's 6-6. And I'm 3-9. And that's the 25th today. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I basically got to sort of pick against my man TK. So what's tonight's game?
Boston visiting the Blazers. Both played on Sunday. You remember Boston had that great game against the Lakers. The Blazers had a nice comeback win against the Pistons.
Yeah,
They
Melo
barely-
with the massive game. We didn't talk about that.
With who sorry?
Melo balled
Melo.
out in that game.
And so the Blazers are at home, and they're 5.5-point dogs, getting 5.5 points.
Is this a crunchy spread or a smooth spread?
It's mellow, soft.
I mean, 5.5 points is kind of right middle in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which team do you think is crunchier here? I'm going with the Celtics.
Good question.
Yeah.
They're on the road. That crunchy road. Give me the Celtics.
Jason Tater spread. I like the Celtics too.
Oh man, this is tough because I do really like the Celtics to cover this. But how many nights do I have left? I mean,
4 nights.
Oh man,
Four nights,
So I could,
3
if I
games.
wanted to, just play it safe tonight. If I really feel like Celtics are gonna win, all right, give me the Blazers. I mean, I gotta get lucky here at one point. Give me the Blazers to cover. Ugh. I'm done. Start thinking of what you want me to do for the pick and payoff. Lee, what do you like, though?
I'll take the Blazers, sure.
All right. Lee likes it.
Cares.
Feeling a lot better.
Who cares?
Who cares, he says.
He's not losing, so who cares?
Okay, so yeah, you two, Tass and Lee, have the Celtics by 5.5 on the road in Portland. Lee and I got the Dogs. That's it for us today. Thanks for joining us. As I said, get your questions in. Comments, no dunks at theathletic.com. We'll be stepping on the beach tomorrow. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, JD's music selections, always smooth.
Embrace the day, people. Keep going.
The smooth.
Crunch.